Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Matt, and thank you for stopping by the channel. Now this next fly from Morgan Lyle's Simple Flies is obviously another very simple pattern. This one is the Frenchie. Now no one really knows where this pattern originated, but it's believed to have come from the competition anglers in France. But we do know that Lance Egan, a competition fly fisherman here in the States, pretty much made it popular here. And the original pattern called for Cote de Leon as a tail and a little bit of pink dubbing for the hot spot. But in Lyle's book, he just sticks with the pheasant tail fibers for the tail and then uses the pink thread for the hot spot. So I'm sure this version is going to be just as effective. And it's a really cool pattern. I think you're going to like it. Let's give it a shot. So there's one in the vise, a Frenchie. Common sizes for this are 12 to 18. I'm tying this on a 14. It's a 1X long nymph hook. And that's a 2.8 millimeter tungsten bead. Now I'm going to put down 0.15 weighted wraps. I like to keep it right on the spool. I'll make about 6 turns and then break it off. You don't need a whole lot of extra weight with this tungsten bead, but this does help hold that bead in place. So after you get that wrapped around as smooth as possible, just jam it up in there into your bead. And this one's kicking my tail a little bit, doesn't want to go in there, but I won, I got it in. Now for my thread, 70 denier and hot pink. You want to put a base or a dam right behind it, and we're going to build this ramp, make a decent little taper right there, put a few turns up over here right behind the bead just to help lock this in. Then go back right here and just try. I got a little nub coming out right there that I need to kind of bury. So I'll spin a few extra turns right here, just trying to smooth that out. It's probably going to be hidden with the pheasant tail, but it doesn't hurt to put a few extra wraps. So go ahead and take your thread back to the start of the bend where we're going to tie in the tail. But let's don't put the tail in yet. We've got a rib. So I'm using a small copper wire. Use small or extra small in gold or copper, just something that's brighter, I think. It might give it a little bit of visibility. It's really just for the durability. So go ahead and try to smooth that in right there and bring your thread right back to where we're going to catch in the tail. And I'm going to leave this wire coming off the bottom. So the tail on this, it's just pheasant tail fibers, a good 5 or 6 of them. Pluck them or snip them out, and we're going to make it about a body length. So I've got 6 fibers right here. It's a pretty long tail, so I'm going to catch them in right here with a pinch wrap and 1 extra wrap. I'm going to take it back, flatten my thread, and take it back 1 more just because I don't want any pink underneath showing. So okay, I think that's going to be fine. Now take your thread back up here to just behind the bead. Not 100% right up next to the bead, but pretty close to it because we're going to have a hot spot up here. So just take your pheasant tail fibers and take your time wrapping them. First wrap might be the hardest because I'm trying to cover up all the pink in the back right here. Looks like I broke one of my fibers. That's fine. And just take it all the way up to the front. Okay, now when you got them up front, 2 thread wraps right there should secure these. Now the question, do I want to snip those or do I want to wrap the wire first? Or does it matter? And I say it probably doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and snip them. Now I'm going to counter wrap this wire. 4 or 5 turns. It's really just for making it more durable. It's not going to add too much weight or really flash to it. Maybe a little bit. But after you get 4 or 5 turns, go ahead and secure this up front. 2 or 3 wraps. You know what, I'm going to do an extra one. Just hold it tight, pull my thread down, and spin this off. Now the hot spot. Just not too big, but big enough to see. So spend a few thread wraps bulking this up right here. And remember, our whip finish is going to be right behind the eye, and that's going to add about 4 wraps to it too. So I'm going to flatten my thread out just a little bit before I whip finish it. I'm going to do 4 turns pretty close behind the eye right here. Oh, that last one wasn't too close behind it. Now what I'll do here, I'll just spin it, find where my thread is coming out perpendicular to the fly, put some tension on it, and then slide my scissors in there and just kind of saw it off. Now you are going to want some kind of head cement or UV resin on this. So I'm going to put some UV resin, just a small drop right here, and then spin it around. Try not to get it on the pheasant tail fibers. It'll just make it a little bit matted up. You don't really need it. It's not going to be the end of the world if you do, but spin this around. Try to get it covering all your thread wraps here. Now, I want to show you something here. That fluorescent pink thread with a UV light, here's what the fish are going to see. See that? That's a pretty bright UV hotspot. This is going to be like a beacon. They'll see this from, you know, several feet away. So just put your light on it for 10 or 12 seconds, and there you go. The Frenchie. Pretty simple pattern. And actually it's not too bad looking. It's kind of an elegant looking pattern too. So that's it, my friends. I appreciate y'all watching. You take care, and we'll see you next time.